she chose him. The girl boss, feminist matriarch is the one picking these people. Like, so this guy's job is pay for all my shit, pay the bills, shut the fuck up, be my slave. And by the way, I'm going to cheat on you anytime I feel like it, and blah, blah, blah. So he's a dictionary definition sin. She bought the feminist propaganda bill of goods, but then she ignored the Darwinian biology behind having a strong man. He is there to protect, provide. So she's never going to get that from him. The propaganda starts with the women.
Gus Demos letting them have it right here at ESW.
Okay, we're live.
All right. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everyone. It's the one and only V The Guerrilla coming to you live on this edition of CUSS with Gus, and we have with us the man of the hour who needs no introduction whatsoever. We are talking about Gus Demos, the one and only most prolific social commentator of our generation. He is the silver-tongued Grecian. You can find him over at perpetualassets.com. Perpetualassets.com. If you're worried about your 401k turning into a 101k, then get a hold of Gus Demos today. Metals like silver and gold are starting to move and groove. You need to make your move right now. Get a hold of Gus Demos, perpetualassets.com. Grab your financial life by the balls.
The info's in the description. And so is the link for the free algo too.
Absolutely.
Swiss francs are moving, euros are moving, everything's the yen, everything's moving.
Everything's moving, baby.
Dollar strength, bro. Dollar strength. Golden age.
I mean, are you not tired of all the winning? You're not tired,
bro. I think, and Nick said it on one of our group threads. He saw it first. He goes, "What the fuck just happened?" Like you saw. So you saw the Forex markets and the dollar index just fucking go berserk. And basically it was the trust fund kid just saying something fucking stupid again. Like we're at a point, dude, I said it, especially after the Minnesota shit became official. Again, it pains me to admit it, but he's just a trust fund shit talker troller. Like that's what he's good at trolling. He's good at talking a lot of shit. But at the end of the day, it's just acting. Like this is just a fucking show. Like, so he was good at selling us a bill of goods, just like, and if you think about it, just like Obama was good. I mean, Obama might have been the best at it, quite honestly. Like
Obama and Clinton were the absolute peak.
Oh, smooth as ice, baby. Yeah, and they were both very smooth, and they pacified the Bolsheviks. They pacified the left. Bill Clinton is so smooth. You could have the FBI and ATF kill a bunch of women and children in Waco, and the country already forgot about it. That's how smooth Clinton was. And Obama, Obama drone bombing people at weddings and shit. It's like, oh yeah, dude, it's cool. Hope and change, brother. It's all good.
Yeah, here's the change.
So yeah, we got Trump to pacify us, and for us we believe the rhetoric, and it's all bullshit at the end of the day. And we should have known, bro. We should have known even before 2020, the weakness he showed in 2020 with COVID and with the riot, the summer of love. Like that should have kind of told us, if I'm being honest. We ignored a lot of that because we were so in shock of what the fuck was going on around us. But he was a fucking pussy in 2020. Like, dude, think about it. He let like California, New York, and Illinois lock people up for a year while they fucking burn the country down. Like, so
it's the summer of love, man. That's what you do. We're dealing with a very polite pathogen.
Bro, we said repeatedly, like, we wish he was the dictator they accused him of. Like, but he wasn't. I mean, he never was.
But now that the cat's out of the bag, I'm glad he's not.
Well, yeah. Now,
I don't know. I think if he was, then there'd be a lot less of certain things anyway. I don't know. I don't know that. First, if he was really a dictator, they probably would have killed him.
No, no. Actually, it's exactly the opposite. If he were really a dictator, the three of us would be marching across the Iran border right now, enlisted. We have to acknowledge who he works for. Like, so what we've discovered the last year, we knew he was a pussy, not a dictator, for years. But what we didn't know is that he was controlled by the puppet masters. So yeah, if he was really a dictator, they would ship us off to Tehran or whatever. So to your point, V, we're probably lucky he's not.
Exactly. Gus, we have that meme that you and I and Velas and Cowboy were just gobsmacked with. I think it's the most powerful thing I've ever read, and this is perfect. It's
so simple.
I love it.
It's so simple and clean. I mean, it's just poetry. It really is.
It is.
It's poetry.
America is a corpse being consumed by maggots. Liberals are rooting for the maggots. Conservatives are rooting for the corpse. My God, isn't that powerful?
Simple and clean. Yes. Yes. It's a much more, forgive me, I'm going to blow my nose quickly.
Okay.
He's
under the weather, folks. He's under the weather.
Discuss where the mute button is.
I know. Between the baby and the Florida experiencing "quote unquote" global warming right now, yes, I've caught something again. No, this is a much more elegant and articulate way of expressing what we said, that the empire collapsing is inevitable, and the rest of us are clinging on to nostalgia of something that is not coming back, that is long gone, decades gone at this point. Yeah. And we think we could claw and scratch and fight and whatever to get back to the 1990s or the 1980s or whatever. And I said, bro, looking back, maybe not in 10 or 20 years, but looking back 50 or 100 years, I don't know I don't know what they'll say was the first big domino. I don't know if it'll be 1971. I don't know if it'll be, the fucking hippies dropping acid and having orgies at Woodstock. I don't know if it'll be 9/11. I don't know if it'll be the 2008 financial crisis. All this happened. The wheels were in motion before Trump, before this fucking idiot. He's just like at this point, I think Simon Dixon said that he's just and Kim.com alluded to too. He's just the manager managing the decline right now.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
He's got the mask and the axe.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's managing the decline. Like, that's it. Like, all right, well, and there are numerous theories on what's on the other side. That Asian professor says it's going to be, Pax Judaica. Simon Dixon's in the camp of no, it's going to be multipolar with China controlling a bunch, the Middle Eastern countries controlling a huge influx of capital and wealth. Like, so it's going to be multipolar.
I think it's a multipolar.
It feels that way. Like, I don't.
And I think the West is going to be, there's two arms. You and I, all three of us, prior to 2024,
we're gonna do fucking nothing.
Yeah, I don't like it. I like it. All of us used to think that there's two wings on the same dragon, the liberal side and the conservative side. Now we realize there's actually just two wings, like you said, Gus. It's the Zionist side that controls the right, and the Bolshevik side that controls the left.
Yeah, and they answer to the same master. It's a Jewish oligarchy. I mean, in simple terms, it's a Jewish oligarchy. That's what we live under. When you saw the Tates and Fuentes and Fresh and Fit and all those dudes go in Miami, and they played the Hitler song for 10 minutes or 5 minutes or 5 seconds, whatever the fuck it was. You saw like the entire state of Florida, like it was an international incident. The mayor, the police start showing up. The Jewish oligarchs in Florida start saying they're banned from every club in the galaxy. Like, it's like, okay, so who's really in charge here? Like, what's going? Like, so dude, it's such a paradoxical thing where they say, oh, we actually aren't the oligarchs who run the country. And then the minute you question it or offend them, they prove that they, in fact, are the oligarchs who run the country. And they have no shame. They would categorize it as chutzpah. I would categorize it as a humiliation ritual. Like, even though our logic is not logic at all, it's just, gibberish, psychobabble gibberish. that contradicts itself every fucking 30 seconds. We have such power that it doesn't matter. Like I told you guys last night, we're in the part of the story where the only thing that mattered, they don't have the population, left or right. The population is fucking furious with the current state of the country, the last 6 years. Left, right, doesn't matter. You're like, oh, should all our politicians be going to kiss a wall in the Middle East? Should all our why are they hiding the Epstein files? Why are they doing that? So everyone is furious. But what they're relying on right now is political power. They got the politicians. The politicians control the men with guns. Right. Blackmail and money. That this is the whole game. The whole system runs on the politicians being able to have people with guns SWAT team us, and the politicians are controlled by blackmail and money.
The structure is straight out of organized crime. It's literally like a mafia, yakuza. It's unbelievable.
Funny you mention that. Famously, Meyer Lansky was the architect of having J. Edgar Hoover sucking dick on photos or film or whatever. So right. Hoover would go cross-dressing, suck dick. Lansky fucking set him up, and that's why you saw the FBI ignore organized crime for so fucking long.
Big time.
Like I said,
they said it doesn't exist,
bro. I've said it repeatedly. Incentives aren't a guarantee to bend someone to your will. Some people, it'll get them to do you favors and shit. Okay, here's a stock tip, here's some money, or blah, blah, blah. But having you dead to rights on felonies, that's a different story. So if they, and some people, the Tates will argue like the third place, and we've said this before, option 3 is Kennedy. Like, we'll just shoot you. We'll kill you, and we'll make you watch your children die first, then we'll kill you. Like, so that's the end of the road. If they can't blackmail you and they can't buy you, then they'll just fucking banish you or threaten your family or whatever. Famously, not to go down too far down rabbit holes, but a major hero of the first part of the 1900s is the man who crossed the Atlantic, Lindbergh. And he was the most famous man in the world for 10 or 20 years.
Charles Lindbergh. Major
anti-Zionist. Anti-Zionist, getting involved in World War II, anti-central banking.
Yep.
Mysteriously, his son got kidnapped. His kid got kidnapped. Mysteriously. So I'm just saying, depending how far you want to go down the rabbit hole, this has been going on for a while.
Yep. New York Senator McFadden was another one. He mysteriously winds up getting killed at a dinner party through poisoning after multiple assassination attempts. I mean, the body count is insane. People go back in history. Louis McFadden, Charles Lindbergh. I mean, it goes on and on and on and on and on.
Well, especially, like I said, if you can't be blackmailed and you can't be bribed, then they're left with one. Your oligarchy is left with one option at that point. But again, take it full circle. Not about pessimism or optimism, but about realism. If it's going multipolar, that doesn't benefit our current oligarchy. But maybe, I've said it before, I think they concede power to China and Russia and Pakistan. These people aren't brave. They're fucking self-serving
cowards.
They're cowards, dude.
Yeah, and the majority of leadership in the West are cowards. And unless
think international bankers and international private equity and international hedge fund guys and international IT guys, you think they want that doomsday scenario? Fuck no. They'd rather say, okay, cowards. China, you take this. Yeah, Russia, you take this, blah, blah, blah. And we'll keep our own fucking goy in line here and surveil them and AI and drones everywhere. And, everyone take their piece of the pie and, shut the fuck up.
That's why I think the Western world, Gus, is going to be under this Zionist type control,
That's the way it's leaning. That'll be our side. I think that's why their focus has shifted to Latin America. So they want to solidify Latin America in the Western bloc of Zion Inc. or whatever.
Yeah.
So
you got idiots cheering it out. Oh yeah, Trump is reordering the world. Oh, he's reordering the world.
You know how you'll know for sure? You'll know for sure if you see the most important thing going on in Latin America for Zio Inc. is if the Bolsonaro family gets back in, and you see the media and Mossad and CIA and the whole fucking complex that we know, if you see them diverge on Brazil in the next 6 months to make sure they could try to pull Brazil off of BRICS, hook by crook, whatever, then and I suspect that's going to be the case. They want regional dominance, including South America, and they don't want the thought of the most fucking wealthy country in South America being on board with China, Russia, Pakistan, India, whatever, terrifies them. They're like, holy fuck. I mean, so just watch how, dude, they've been laser focused on, that's what Venezuela was about. They're laser focused on Brazil, Colombia. I think they already, what was the thing I just sent this morning? They just got Honduras. Honduras is under their control. Like,
but you got that picture with the Honduran president being sworn in that Gus shared on our group chat.
Where did you share it in the chat?
Yeah, it's in the group chat with us and fellas.
Give me a second.
Yeah, this is great. I mean, totally normal, Gus. I mean, you're a president of a backwater Latin American country. Then the first thing you want to do is pledge fealty, right?
Well, think about it. The first order of business after you quote unquote get sworn in is running over and kissing the wall on a Zoom call or whatever the fuck. So, dude, like I said, so much of this is just a humiliation ritual. It's like,
Well, go ahead, play it. This is what you do, you're Honduran president, yeah.
Oh, yeah, it took 30 seconds. Go pledge your... Oy vey, got another.
What the hell, man? I'm tired of seeing the star of Rephaim everywhere. What a goober. What a sellout. Be ashamed of yourself.
Like I said, they got him one of the three ways. They got him one of the three ways: blackmail, incentives, or threats. That's how they. Yeah. And lo and behold, he's kissing. Yeah, he's kissing the wall. Yeah.
How is it that a country with a very small population, no resources to speak of?
Yeah,
I mean, why are they not kissing like the U.S. president's ass? Because that would make sense. The U.S. has military, lots of resources. What does Israel got? Why are they kissing their ass?
It doesn't make sense because the U.S. president's not the one in charge.
Well, no,
so
I'm asking.
I don't know about that, Gus. I think
they're kissing the actual power, not the fake soap opera power. So
you can talk trash on the U.S. You could talk trash on the U.S. president. You could talk trash on any race you want to, but you don't dare talk trash on the Israelis or the Jews. You just don't do it.
No, you can't. You can't bring in Netanyahu into the conversation. You can't talk about Israeli policies and whatnot. You can't,
dude,
highlight anything they do whatsoever. It's verboten.
If Whitey, listen, guys, if Whitey was really in charge, and I say this to all those of you who have bought into the Bolshevik woke bullshit, if Whitey was really in charge in the West, there would be laws in the West protecting Whitey. But those laws don't exist. Those laws protect a different group who pretend they're Whitey when it suits them, but they also pretend they're oppressed when it suits them. So if you go to Australia, if you go to UK, the US, Germany, where there are no laws protecting Whitey. Whitey's not in charge, lady. My little wokesters. They sold you bullshit. They're in charge. They want you fighting with Whitey. That's the whole fucking scam. And they want Whitey to hate you. Like, so that's when the Zionist sales pitch comes in. And you see like who's that fucking faggot in England, Tommy Robinson or whatever the fuck his name is.
Oh God!
It's the Muslims. We gotta get these Muslims.
It's the bloody Muslims. You see what they're going to do here in England is they're going to start Sharia law.
oh, it's the Muslims. The Muslims control our central bank. Oh, the Muslims make us bomb Iran. Shut, dude. It's such goy slap. It's such fucking retarded goy slap.
That's why I'm going to go to the Wailing Wall, Gus, and I'm going to hump it. I'm going to give it a proper humping.
I'm going to back into the Wailing Wall naked.
Bro, the fact that they've pacified Christians and white people is one of the more impressive things, where the average Christian in a Western country can't say, wait a minute.
Dude, the average person in the Western world is incredible. They're illiterate. That's why.
Well, dude, it's the obvious question to someone who'd be like, let's just call power dynamics what it is. Why aren't you pledging loyalty and fealty at a fucking church? Why aren't you going to the fucking St. Peter's and fucking Vatican City? Like, why are we going to this wall? It just tells you. It's like it's a fucking humiliation ritual. Like,
I must go to the wall because I have to go to the wall of Fort Demonia, and I have to pledge fealty to it.
This sliver of the global population is like running shit, but again, that's why I told you it doesn't matter if they lost even before the Trump election in 2024. They lost the woke, dude. Yeah. Like, so you still see some of the mega fucking tards or the mega tards now say, oh yeah, the liberals hate the Jews. And I have news for you. It's not just the liberals, you fucking dummies. Like, so it's you have the entire portion of the right being against a Zionist government. You have a huge portion of the left. And someone said it, and I think they're right. Dude, it was a rabbi. I was watching a video of a fucking rabbi, like, saying, listen, guys, if the fucking Muslims and the Christians unite, we're finished. And that's what I always kind of like think in my mind when I'm like, dude, Muslims are the most conservative people in the fucking world. I mean, they're women with degeneracy, with usury, with gambling, with alcohol. They're just conservative people, dude. They're conservative.
Yeah, V and I are converting tomorrow. We're gonna be Muzzies.
I am Vazir, and he is Nazir.
They're a natural in modern day. I'm not talking about when Crusades. Okay, you want this land, we want this land. That's 1,000 fucking years ago. Modern day Muslims are the most natural allies of Christians. They should.
We screwed that up, dude. And here's the thing. Here's what the American dumbass doesn't realize. In Syria, when USIS was created, which is a CIA Mossad creation, it was Christians and Muslims with their imams and their priests being prayed over and going to battle together as brothers. Even in the Crusades, which was a bullshit claptrap with a bunch of other crap to it, but it wasn't the Muslims that wanted the beef. It wasn't the Islamic Empire that wanted the beef. It's how these Western paid for historians spin that tale to keep the false paradigm going of the Islamic East versus the Christian West. Meanwhile, we're getting played in the middle.
As a Greek person, I could tell you that again, you're spinning them trying to spin some fairy tale, either going back to the Crusades or even going back to 1453 and Constantinople and the Byzantine Empire. That's ancient history. Modern history is looking at Damascus, Christians, Muslims living in harmony for hundreds of years together. That's modern history, dude. That's what I'm trying to tell you. This was these people have been coexisting for a long time until the Balfour Declaration, until this slippery little dreidel slipped its way in 1948. and suddenly you have chaos. So it's, dude, again, we simply might have to acknowledge it's a corpse. Yeah, it's a corpse. Yeah, they're wealth extracting it. They'll have it as a multicultural DEI welfare state with surveillance and blah blah blah. But the good news is, I think, like we said, if the world's multipolar, they're 5 years from now, 10 years from now, there will be bastions of where you're free to do business or whatever. We should have noticed it when every time all the whistleblowers who are being hunted from the United States government or the British government or whatever, they all end up in Russia. So they always end. So that tells you right there that if you're gonna flip them off or whatever, there'll still be areas where you're safe from their reach. The question is, does the Western, and I don't know if you guys have an opinion on this, does the Western bloc hold up as one entity, or does that also splinter?
That's splinter.
So like if
it's going to be a loosely held block. I think it's going to be it's not going to be like splintered, but it's going to be very loosely held because there's no honor among thieves, man. It's kind of like how it is today. They're allies, but not really. You know,
the knives are out. I just don't know how much of it is make believe. I don't know how much of it is theater versus how much of it is real. Meaning, so for those of you who don't know, 20 years ago, you could have, as an American citizen, you could have opened up a bank account in Switzerland, France, wherever, Panama. Not important. Why am I bringing that up? Because the Western bloc it has been unified for this whole time, and the minute FATCA rolls through, the Swiss banks, say fuck you. They all played ball. Everyone played along. Now you could argue that's because of the SWIFT system and the Fed and the dollar. Does that go away if the world becomes multipolar? Is Switzerland going to say, yeah, we're still going to report to you when people are trying to bring in capital into our country, Washington? We're still going to come back and tell you that. I mean, only the United States has that privilege. If a French citizen, if a Chinese citizen, if Australian, if an Italian goes to Switzerland, they can open a bank account, no problem. And Switzerland's not running back and telling Beijing, "Oh, you have a citizen here with a bank account." They only do that for U.S. But U.S. citizens don't know. The empire doesn't benefit you really. I mean, dollar strength does because we've been living in a consumer. Everything's cheap because of dollar, blah blah blah. But other than that, you're like a global tax slave. Like they keep tabs of you anywhere you go in the corner of the earth. And if the world becomes multipolar, I'm not sure they have that power anymore to enslave us, even if we're in Indonesia or Mongolia or wherever. Yeah. Like, so again, that's why I'm curious. Like, is the bloc gonna stay unified moving forward? And I don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah. I don't think the bloc. It's going to be. Imagine it's going to be like the remnants of the Soviet bloc when the Soviet Union fell, right? You just kind of this loose-knit post-globalist nations that are just grifting each other and grifting in their own population. I don't see any sort of real power. I don't see any real industrial might coming online. I don't see any of that because it's like you cannot chop off your knees for the sake of having everything financialized. And then expect to, when it all collapses, to be back and be industrious and be prosperous. It just doesn't work that way. So the West is going to be interesting. I think the West is not going to be a third world country. I think the West is going to be a second world country, man, with a lot of corruption. It's going to be Brazil, bro. That's what the West is. The West is going to be Colombia. It's going to be Brazil.
Some hot girls in Brazil.
That is true. The corruption and the fact that the politicians, again, they enter into Congress with 2 twigs and a rubber band, and they leave with $40 million 4 years later.
Yeah. Look at Dan Crenshaw. I Patch McCain's a perfect example.
The corruption will escalate, become more overted. But what those third world countries, what's different about them, or again, you don't even they're not third world countries anymore, is the truth. But the people aren't terrified of the regime, and the West, you still have that. The West, going back to the poetry we read about the corpse, the West, especially the boomers, don't want to accept it's a corpse because they're like I've been saying for a long time, they want to ride off into the sunset with their equity and assets and wealth. So they don't want to accept that the whole system is just, grift and graft and fraud and corruption and money laundering and, blah, blah, blah. But maybe there's hope for the younger generations. I mean, I'm talking about the Western, the followers of these people who are at the, Miami Beach nightclub. If they're like, oh yeah, this whole system's a fucking fraud. These people are all fucking criminals that are pedophile, blackmailed, blah, blah, blah. Why are we participating? Why are we taking these people seriously? And then, yeah, the corruption takes place, but you don't have the population terrified or whatever the way they are in Western countries. You might be right, bro. There's no loyalty among thieves. What would prevent the Mediterranean countries from cutting deals with China?
Nothing. I think amongst the Europeans, the Mediterranean, the southern European countries are the ones with some sense. They're not fully woke yet. That Mediterranean blood is very resistant.
Like I've told you for years and years and years, you have a hard time getting someone to hate their ancestors when the Mediterranean region's been at war for 2,500 years with Africa, with the Middle East, whatever. So you have a hard time saying, "Oh, hate your grandpa." Like, dude, what the fuck are you talking? Like, fuck off. Like, So it's a little different when you're Irish than when you're a
little different when you're Scandinavian.
Yeah, than when you're from Spain and you're staring at fucking Africa. Like, so it's a little.
You should have seen we did a video last week with Ian Burlingame and Joaquin Flores, and this came up, right? And Joaquin Flores says, "What is it about like Northern Europeans, Scandinavians, while they're so easily cucked? Like if you look at, Southern Europeans, they're not, with Southern Europeans, we don't really have a problem like getting girls and banging them. But like these Northern Europeans, they worship women and they can't get laid." I was like, oh shit. Fucking shots fired, dude.
Even when Greece and Italy and Spain migrate to communism or socialism, it typically is more of a masculine version of it. It stays patriotic. Or I'm sorry, it stays like a patriarchy. It doesn't metastasize into some cucked matriarchy. And I think it simply goes down to it's you're not talking about hundreds of years or even 1,000. You're talking about fucking. You're talking about 2.5, 3,000 years of history in these countries. So again, you're going to have a hard time convincing an Italian, a Greek, or a Spaniard to hate their ancestors. They'll be like, "What the fuck are you talking about? We built everything. Fuck off!"
Right.
It's like we've been in battle for everything comes from this area. Like, fuck off. So the Northern Europeans, I don't know what's behind it. I can't figure it out. Maybe all the fucking masculine ones got fucking killed off the last 100 years in wars. I don't know. I mean, like dude, the English, the French, the Danish, the fucking Germans. You look at all, even now, like you go to, as much as I loved Paris 20 years ago, it was a bunch of like skinny faggot hipsters. Like so they smoke cigarettes like women. They're like, give me some cheese.
Yeah, they sit cross-legged.
Yeah, I'm like, what a fag. I'm like, so London's no different. Like it's just a bunch, like they're like little like girlish preppies. It's like, so I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if it's nature or nurture.
I think their culture's been destroyed. I think it's been completely wrecked. I think they just allowed the balance that's needed between masculine and feminine that's been completely wiped out, and it's like masculinity has become toxic over there in Europe, and you see the results of it, man. It's beyond me, and it's like, and the leaders won't stop. They double down. I mean, just recently, what's her name? Van der Leyen. Ursula von der Leyen. She just cut a trade deal with India. Like, it's the most dumbest shit I've ever heard. Opening more doors for more migrants to go over there to Europe. And it's like, this is the greatest thing ever. It's going to be a giant trade deal. Oh my God, between the second and fourth largest economy. First of all, Europe is not the second largest economy, and India is not the fourth largest. These are two countries whose GDP numbers I'd question very deeply, but they just keep doubling down. They just keep doubling down because it's masculinity is toxic and horrible and blah blah blah. And yeah, I think you're right, Gus. I think the majority of men in Europe were wiped out during the several decades of wars that have been fought. All the wars, World War I, World War II, and all that.
Well,
nothing left
think
of
of it. They've certainly painted the German. So they clearly had a sales pitch for the Germans, like we're going to kill and rape and neuter you after World War II. What was the justification for the English, though? What was the justification for the English and French to be emasculated? And I don't know if that's part of the long. I don't know if that's part of the long sales pitch of, okay, we'll start with the hippies and the Beatles and have them drop acid and women's rights, but slowly but surely, like they should have the English should have came out after World War II with like the most alpha fucking personality on planet Earth. The only one who came out of World War II being fucking masculine are the Russians. Everyone else, no. So yeah, it's strange to me, very strange.
The theory that we were given on that is like the Northern European countries, they don't have the same kind of needs like season to season. In the wintertime, there's no food. Everybody has to cooperate. You have to spend a lot of time around your wife. You have to spend a lot of time with her indoors. And so the type of attitude you have to take on, it's like in Southern Europe, if your wife barks at you, you just like, okay, I'm going to be gone for another week. Like, but in the wintertime up there, not so much. So guys have had to evolve to be like, softer. That's the theory.
Let me, Nick, I'm going to tell you an anecdotal story because we brought it up on the group thread last week or a couple days ago. This is 10 years ago, probably. I was at Del Mar opening day in San Diego, or a little bit north of San Diego or whatever. And these two little Mexican girls were running around, cute little, 25-year-old Mexicans. And one of them came up to me asking for a cigarette and a lighter. I said, no, you're being way too assumptive. And she's like, I can get one anytime I want. I'm like, all right, ask someone else. And this little English guy walks by because I heard him talk to her after. She asked him for a cigarette, a lighter. He offered to buy her a drink right away. He lit it for him. And then she ran back to me, the guy who was quote unquote being an asshole to her. And she goes, see, I told you, blah, blah, blah. And then she started flirting with me in front of him, this guy who just gave her everything she wanted. So her friend looked at me and said, so why do you think that guy did it? I go, and I looked at her and I said, because that guy cries when he fucks. I don't know if that makes sense, but I heard his little English accent and he was a total fucking, this isn't being a gentleman. This is just being like a total, a cock, a bait, a simp, whatever. And again, I don't know the reason, but I don't know if it's climate, weather, whatever, but the English theoretically should have came out after that and been, the biggest balls in the room or whatever.
I mean, you have an empire in which the sun never set,
Yeah. Yeah.
And to wonder, where they are right now.
I think it's a scarcity mentality with the women. I think it's a scarcity problem because I don't know why it's one region to another. It might be the winter thing, but I learned it pretty early. And I remember at one point being basically a teenager and this girl asked me like, oh, can you take this over here for me? And she like gave me the pretty eyes. And I said, you can do it. Oh man. She chased me so hard after that. It's like, I'm not going to just do what you want because you asked. Like, so then I was raised by a bunch of dicks.
No, so was I. So
it's just like no better aphrodisiac than fuck off.
No, the best way I could say, dude, so many people have went into these theories. Blazarian talks about all the time. Like, but any man's primary concern should not be showing respect to a woman. A man's primary concern should be having self-respect. Your self-respect comes first always. If you don't respect yourself, the world won't respect you. Not your women, not your friends, not your business associates. No one's gonna, if you don't have self-respect, people are going to walk all over you the rest of your life, and they're not going to respect you. They're going to use you. So, and I think that's what they conflated. Women need simps. They surround themselves with simps, especially when they're single. They need favors. They need this. They need that. But so it's no surprise. But the fact that you can't snap the simps out of it and be like, dude, they're just using you. Like, whatever. It's like you show some if you had self-respect, you wouldn't put up with it. Like, so, that's the same. That's the concept behind it. Whatever. It is what it is. I watch the videos sometimes of even the propaganda, the commercials, the whatever. And you see how you sent them over. Remember the Russian military recruiting video? How masculine it was.
Unbelievable.
You see the same shit out of China. You see the same shit out of the Middle East. Like, so it really is it's been a cultural, generational onslaught of, in the West, of romantic comedies, sensitive guys are awesome, like cry when you fuck, blah, 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 blah. So for many of these guys, they've, adapted it. They simply think, oh, this is the way it is. But no, it's tragic to see. It's tragic to see. And I could tell you now, being a father to a girl, dude, if my daughter in 20 years brought home a simp, I would be like, kid, get the fuck out of here. There is no way. Again, if my daughter, and this is coming from a guy who would fucking burn the world down for his baby girl.
Absolutely.
But I don't want my grandkids to have a simp father. Like, so if it really is about generations and the offspring and your, not only kids, but grandkids one day, great grandkids, you want strong men in your family. Like, so I would never like, oh, some little beta walks in. Like, oh, dude, get the fuck out of my house, faggot. Like, gross.
I'll give you I have a great video of why simps are the most dangerous things, the most dangerous cretins ever created. In the ancient past, these guys would have no chance in reproducing. And in the ancient past, these guys would either be killed or be some sort of a slave. I don't know if you guys seen this video. This is from a couple months ago. This is hilarious. Okay, watch this. These are a group of people that are on vacation. They're probably somewhere in Central or South America or God knows where, right? Here we go.
Viral security footage captured on December 6th shows the terrifying moment a woman with killed her mother after her much taller male companion chose to step back and hide behind a wall. In a move he's now unfortunately paying for with internet influence.
Luckily, there were other real men there to stop it.
Were walking down the street on vacation in Colombia when the armed attacker suddenly approached them, lunging at the woman trying to steal her phone, according to news.
Look at his fanny pack.
A man passing by on a motorcycle is then seen doing what her companion failed to do, jumping into action to help the woman. The passerby hopped off his bike and hit the mugger in the head with his helmet. A few other people passing by also jumped in to help fight the mugger off in a dramatic struggle.
Oh, dude. That's just, that guy needs
Thank
to,
God.
the guy needs to
Thank
cut
God
off
for
his
real
dick.
men.
Cut off his dick and never reproduce.
Guys, reminder.
Only once the thief was subdued was her companion seen managing to make his way out from behind the wall.
Now he comes out.
Are you okay?
Local authorities reportedly took the suspect into custody for full identification, but ultimately didn't arrest the man because no theft was committed and no complaint exists
and he ran away
from the
again.
affected persons. This now viral clip has sent shockwaves through the internet, with many criticizing the man's decision not to help his female companion. While the pair has not been publicly identified,
she chose him.
Yeah.
So if you're trying to tell me she couldn't observe his behavior for 3 months, 6 months, a year, and say there's no, dude, the girl boss, feminist matriarch is the one picking these people. They 100%. Cheat on them. They cheat on them with Hell's Angels and personal trainers and the rest. but 100%. Like, so this guy's job is open the door, pay for all my shit, pay the bills, shut the fuck up, be my slave. And by the way, I'm going to cheat on you anytime I feel like it, and blah blah blah. So he's a dictionary definition sin. But she bought the feminist propaganda bill of goods, but then she ignored the Darwinian biology behind having a strong man. He is there to protect, provide, blah 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 blah, and she's never going to get that from him. But again, it's the propaganda starts with the women, so they analyze these women to whatever. Again, dude, I fucked feminists over the years for sure, but they're like, I never dated them. But the point being that like they talk a lot of shit, and then you get a few tequilas in them, and then you kick them out in the morning. Like, get the fuck out. Like, so
give them the old factory reset.
Yeah, they have a lot of theories on it all, but you don't have to hear them. Like, bye. So it is what it is. Dude, it's a cultural, generational fucking programming, and it's no
the factory reset is when you find like a feminist and you do the job on her overnight, and she's no longer a feminist afterwards.
That's if you want to put in the time, or I personally stayed single for as long as I did because I didn't understand that maybe my quote unquote perfect match was a traditional Asian or Latina or someone not from the West. Quite frankly, like I could never, you're not
hooking up with some French girl or something like that,
or just some big mouth wasp American girl from Chicago. Yeah, some wasp princess who wants to fucking tell me all her theories all fucking day. Like it's like who doesn't cook, doesn't clean. She's on Facebook all day. When no, it's like it's not happening. So
well, Gus, she got a daughter, right? And I know you're concerned. Now, the way I understand it, and it's what my father taught me. This is if you want your daughters to have strong men, you got to be a strong man and show that love to your daughter. Like because, for example, when I met my father-in-law, who is from Eastern Europe, and I went over to their house, he did whatever he wanted. Like it didn't matter what was going on in the house. If he wanted to go do something, if he wanted to go to the horse track, that's what he did. If there's a family party, he didn't want to go, he didn't go. If there was a family party at the house, he wanted to watch tennis, he'd go watch tennis. No one told him ever what to do. And it's like, okay, see, I don't have to train that into this girl. Like that's what she grew up with, and
it's already there.
Yeah. He's a good guy. I miss him. We lost him last year. I mean, despite all those things, he's a lovely father, loved his daughters to death, would do anything for them, but he also is very, very strong. So you just got to be that for your daughter.
Every time me and my girl have had a disagreement, an argument, a fight, I have to remind her that, listen, when you see, and when I say daddy, that's what my girl calls me. I'm not talking about my daughter. I'm talking about my significant other. I go, every time you see the vein in my neck come out, it's time for you to shut the fuck up. Like, so I don't know how she tells me how she grew up, but I go, the way I grew up is grandpa, daddy, and my uncles were running the family. And if you could play and everyone could have an opinion and this and that, but when my uncle Greg or my uncle Jim or daddy or grandpa, when they fucking slam their hand on the kitchen table, it's time to shut the fuck up. Like everyone should listen, follow order. Dude, it's a higher, families are hierarchies. This isn't a Bolshevik democracy. Like this isn't we're not living in LA here. Like this is and a woman's job when she finds an alpha is to pick a logical, reasonable. Again, they've put this idea in their women's mind, the feminist mind, that everyone's Ike Turner. Like, yeah. Am I like that's what they consider? Like, he's toxic. He's abusive. He's abusive. Why? Because he told you to shut the fuck up. Like the strongest men I know don't beat women. Fucking, they never touch it. They never lay a finger.
They don't have to.
No, an alpha really just walks away. Like, you disrespect me, I'm walking away. Like, I don't. But if you see me, if it's a topic that's important to the family, and you hear me raise my voice, shut the fuck up. Like, this is daddy. Daddy has spoken. Silence. Like, that's it. So
I met Ike Turner.
Did you really?
I met him. Yeah, he was I was working at Guitar Center, and when the girl at the front who does the checkout stuff, when she's on break, they'll take one of us salespeople and we just cover her for 30 minutes to an hour. And Ike used to come into that location down San Marcos, California, and he pulls up in like a 500 SL. This was like 1998. Pulls up in a 500 SL. 3 blondes get out, like Playboy Bunny level blondes get out with him. He comes into the store and it's like a party. He's playing all the pianos and equipment, and the girls are yelling and hooting. And I got to be the one that was covering for the girl who went to lunch. And so he comes up to the counter and he bought like some $10,000 piece of equipment. And I looked down at him because the counter was raised up. And I'm like, what's going on, Ike? And he looked at me like this. He goes, ain't nothing going on but the rent. It's all, dude. He's so like, that's my acting experience.
I'm wondering if they exaggerated his beating and abuse. I don't know how much, but that was the famous joke growing up. Like, don't make me pull an Ike Turner on you, blah blah blah. Like, so he became stigmatized with beating women or whatever. Again, you don't know if it's bullshit or not, but it is what it is. The truth is, I only raise my voice when it's something important, like meaning my daughter's a perfect example. Like, when we're at the hospital and they're trying to jab her with something,
like
daddy's in charge.
B,
dude, anything like that, dude. That's when I get deadly serious. Like, no one else talking. I tell her, I'm like, don't talk. Like, I'll handle this. Like, this is not negotiable. This is not a family discussion. I'm here to prevent my daughter from being poisoned. Like, playtime's over. So it's like, there are times to assert your authority, and that's certainly one of them.
And the less you do it, the more it means.
Yeah, true. Yeah, true. We, like I said, we probably have a real argument every 6 months or so, every year. Like, it's not, we don't, if I fought with her a lot, I wouldn't be with her. Like, it's, you don't want a woman who, if a woman sucks all your energy, all your juice, that is a drama queen. We just talked about this the other day too. You don't want a woman to bring drama into your life or relationship. She is there to support you so you could try to conquer the world and provide for the family and be successful. So if you have some bitch yapping at you all day, oh, you didn't do this, you didn't do that, oh, bitch, you're sucking half my day with your bullshit. Like, I'm trying to make money here. Like, what do you want? So it's, again, sorry to am I wrong though? Like,
you're not wrong.
No, dude, I watch some of my buddies during business hours. A lot of their day is just spent like responding to their wife or girlfriend or whatever. I'm like, guys, what are you doing? Like, she sent you 50 texts in the middle of a fucking Monday about what? Like, so no, you can't let them get away with that or whatever. You should have put your foot down on that a long time ago. Dude, I don't, maybe I've said it before. There's a chance I was born either 1,000 years too late or in the wrong country. I don't know, but so much of what I observe is not the way it is, or is not the way it should be.
The only thing we can really do as men is just walk away. And the problem is what they've done with the marriage laws and the family court in this country is they've made it impossible for you to walk away unless you understand what to do with your assets. But in the real world, that's the deal. You can either be along for the ride or you can go on your own. That's the message to the wife, right? That's another thing they've done in this country. And, I get it. Whatever, they corrected for women being treated too harshly. I'm not saying it's
that
all bad.
might have been, bro. That might have been the sales pitch to rationalize robbing a man of his salary, house, and children.
Right. So they took a few small instances and turned it into the whole reason why.
I think Singleton, he has this course, Divorcing the State. And one of the things that he's always taught is most people don't realize this. Divorces are set up in a way where the state wins. The state is turned so that it can liquidate assets. That's the ultimate winner in this whole entire thing. And people fail to realize that. It's just like, yo, if you're going to separate, do it the most amicable, most respectful way possible. Try to keep the state out, because once the state is in, it's just like, yo, dude, it's a fucking nightmare.
Well, the way he says it is that a marriage is like a private membership association, and the state really has the only way that the state is legally involved is if you legally involve them in the divorce court scenario. So he actually has. I mean, I don't want to. I want to say the wrong stuff. I'd let him say
the state, the government, the state shouldn't even be involved in marriage. 200 years ago, 100 years ago, you'd go to a church and you were married. Yep. The whole fucking racket is a contract with the government, and which does nothing but incentivize a woman to not make it work.
Meaning, to behave badly.
Not make it work. Like anytime a man wants to assert authority or whatever, the woman has the entire culture saying, quick reminder, you could actually kick him out of the house and take his house, and he'll be paying you every month for the rest of your life, and you can take his kids. And like, so it's like the state incentivizes women to break up families. And it's like, so they've disarmed men to a certain extent that you can't even assert your will, like you said, unless you know how to protect your assets, or you just don't get married with the government. Like, you want to get married, you can tell a woman, like, you want to get married, let's go. We'll fly to a church in Spain and get married.
Well, come back you could get married in the U.S. without a legal contract, but the problem is whether you get married in Spain or Barbados or whatever, if you live in a way that looks like marriage, a lot of states will still treat you as legally married. So especially there's more to it.
The California palimony bullshit, of course, but yeah. So
common law.
No, dude. Well, it's certainly a scam. They've made it a scam to be able. They incentivize women to break it up, and they incentivize men to be neutered. And I've been to parts of the Mediterranean where I've had these conversations with dudes at a cafe or a bar or whatever, and they're like, "Fuck no, we don't have to fucking give up." Like, so it's even in the United States, like many other things, is the worst of the bunch as it comes to divorce law. The U.S.
You heard what happened in China, right? They made it illegal where the husband's estate can't be worked over, and all of a sudden the divorce rate just plummeted down to like nothing.
Of course.
Let's all move to China, guys. Let's go.
Dude, China's based, man. It's based.
I'll put it to you like this, in a way a woman should be able, a truthful woman should be able to understand. It's one thing if you meet each other penniless together at 22 and get married. That's one conversation. The other conversation is if you get married at 30 and she has $5 and you have $5 million. That's a much different fucking scenario. Yeah, she's marrying who you are now, not who you were when you were fucking 19. So it's of course different. For the government to say, oh, it's all community property. Like, fuck you. It's all community. Like, no. So it's the whole thing. She didn't marry a busboy. She married a CEO. Like, fuck off.
Right.
So the whole thing's a scam. It's a shakedown from lawyers, and it's again part of the whole feminist revolution. We have to have everyone's going to be Ike Turner. The Don Draper character is the perfect illustration of what they want you to think it was like if they didn't have these divorce laws. Sure. So this alpha womanizing, Dre, blah, blah, blah. He's cool as fuck. He's suave. He's good looking. But, Betty was abused. Blah, blah. Like, it's like, okay, was it really like that? I mean, whatever. So no, I'll never agree with someone saying divorce is it's a total fucking scam to rob men and neuter men, destroy their lives and take their fucking children too. The worst part about it is you have to ask the state permission on when you could see your sons and daughters. I mean, it's
there's a large amount of men who commit suicide over that.
Oh, big time.
Of course.
Because they're financially ruined. They're
not just it's about their kids. They
exactly
taken from them.
Yeah, everything's.
I love my kids like so much. I love my kids. If something happened like that, I don't know what I would do.
Bro, you know what terrifies me more than anything is if it doesn't work out with the woman, you don't have 24-hour visual about who's around your kids.
Nope.
So
Weird boyfriends and shit.
Dude, exactly.
Yeah.
So
and that's where the violations happen is men are in the house with your children who don't have the same DNA.
100%. So you have strangers. You're not there to see what's going on. You don't know who these people are. And your little kids are running around with fucking strange men in the house.
Yep.
And that's what terrifies me. Not saying that, it's going to go bad or blah, 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 but you don't know. I'm not there to control it or observe it.
Yeah, you got sickos everywhere, man.
That's where the violations happen.
100%. And even the truth is, even if, so let's say you break up, a new guy moves in with her, blah, blah, blah. Even if he isn't the abuser, he's not looking out for your kids the way you would. Like if
never.
Your kid's like, hey, I'm gonna have a sleepover at Jimmy's. I'm gonna ride this motorcycle over this fucking alligator. Your kids. Your kid is never as safe as they are with you. You want to know some of our fights? Some of our fights are when I don't think she's being as paranoid as I would be with my daughter. Like she sent, I think I sent you guys the photo, or I sent it to you.
Yeah, the park.
She was in a park, and there was some weird.
Yeah, I told my wife that. I was like, "What the?"
So she sent me that picture. Like, oh, isn't it cute? She's playing. I'm like, who is that fucking pedophile behind her? Like,
sitting on a park bench all by himself. No kids. No kids.
There were no kids, and it was like this guy with clothes that were way too tight on his phone, around kids that aren't his. And I'm like, and I didn't yell at her. I'm like, why are you? Don't you have questions? Like they don't have the situational awareness, or they're more dude.
Not all of them. Some of them do. It depends on how they're raised. My wife, she's fucking perceptive. She's a radar dish, bro. She sees it like miles up before I even know. Huh?
She's a gangster. Like
my wife's like gangster, bro.
Yeah.
Puerto Rico's the Bronx, brother.
Nick, I'll bring it. I'll bring it.
I'm oblivious in comparison.
Nick, I'll bring it back. I'll bring it back to your countrymen in the most quotable two movies of all time, The Godfather 1 and 2, where he's sitting talking to Michael, passing down the reins of power. Brando is, and he says, men cannot be careless. Women and children could be careless. Men cannot be careless.
Quote.
It's true. So and it's true of all women. Like a woman could be careless. Oh, I'm not paying attention. It doesn't matter what it is. It could be the FBI shows up at your house. A woman would be far more likely to be scammed by something like that than a man. Like men cannot be careless. There's too much danger in this world. Perverts, tyranny. Oh, so good. So, dude, part 1 and 2 are both brilliant.
They're brilliant.
I use part 2 all the time to illustrate the Jewish oligarchy with Hyman Roth, where he goes, your father respected Hyman Roth, your father did business with Hyman Roth, but your father never trusted Hyman Roth. Correct.
Yeah, he was Hyman Roth was designed to basically be Meyer Lansky.
Yeah, it's a Meyer Lansky character, 100%. And they're in a Cuban casino. There's a Jew doing a pitch meeting to the mafia. It's Meyer Lansky, 100%. He's in Florida.
As you can see, I got a weakness for my children, and sometimes they speak when they shouldn't.
the Turk heroin dealer.
Yeah.
Never tell anybody outside of the family what you think.
Those two movies are basically a study in philosophy and wisdom.
I'm reading about power right now, the actual book. Dude,
even the blackmail. They blackmailed the senator. Mm-hmm. So they got the senator in a brothel. The prostitute died, and they had it all on video. And they blackmailed the senator to be their bitch. I mean, it's excellent, just fucking best. Those two movies are the best. And anyway, guys, it's a pleasure as always.
Gustavo, always a pleasure.
If the world doesn't blow up next week, we'll talk again.
Hey, Friday's supposed to be the day that Iran's getting bombed, so we'll see what happens. After Iran doesn't get bombed, we're good.
Was it yesterday? I thought you're talking about the
bro. Sorry, they always do it
30th.
They always do it after market close on Friday, Nick.
Yeah.
Always.
Always.
They never like upsetting the markets. It's always like weekend Friday. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
We'll see. In the meantime, I'm seriously considering trying to learn Mandarin. We'll see.
Not a bad idea. Not a bad idea. Not a bad idea.
Ni hao ma.
Until next time, guys.
Take care.
Later, guys.
And with that being said, folks, there goes Gus Demos, the man, the myth, the legend. You can get him again at perpetualassets.com. If you're worried about your 401k turning into a 101k where you won't be okay, then get a hold of Gus Demos over at perpetualassets.com. And also, check the link in the description box for algofactory.tech where you learn to trade like a hedge fund pro. Don't be a victim of the market, whether the market's up, whether the market's down, whether the market's going sideways. It don't matter. Trade anything, anywhere. Like you don't care because you are in the full care of the algo that's working on your behalf 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Algofactory.tech. That being said, Cowboy, take it away.